Welcome to Aquasea Healing Frequency, a sacred space where the rhythm of the sea meets the energy of healing. I'm Meiji, your guide on this journey of self-discovery, transformation, and remembrance. Just as the ocean moves in waves, sometimes gentle, sometimes fierce, healing ebbs and flows in its own divine rhythms. Here we dive into the depths of our inner world, release what no longer serves us, and open to the infinite possibility of love, light, and renewal. Through guided meditation, energy activation, personal reflection, and soul nourishing conversation, Aquasea Healing Frequency invites you to reconnect with your true essence. This is more than just a podcast. It's a frequency, a vibration, a current of energy that carries you through your healing journey. So take a deep breath in, feel the energy of the sea within you, and let's journey together into the new healing frequency of the soul. Welcome back, beautiful souls, to another episode of Aquasea Healing Frequency. In this episode, we'll be diving into remembering who we truly are, shedding societal conditioning, and reconnecting with our soul's wisdom. I'll be sharing some of the books I've read and podcasts I've listened to that helped shift my mindset and expand my understanding of spirituality. My journey to remembering. Looking back on my life, I've realized that I was born with an innate knowing that God is within, not outside of me. I was raised Buddhist, but I never saw Buddha as a god. Rather, I always saw him as a great teacher, and I followed his teachings. Concepts like reincarnation, karma, and respect for all life were already familiar to me. But it wasn't until I embarked on my yoga teacher training that I truly deepened my spiritual practice. My third eye chakra began to open, and I started seeing beyond what I had been conditioned to believe. This led me to explore a new perspective, books, and teachers, each guiding me closer to my truth. Here are a few key resources that profoundly shaped my journey. Dolores Cannon, A Journey Through Time. I was introduced to Dolores Cannon by a friend who joined me for an all-women's retreat in 2023. At the time, I had no idea that describing her work would profoundly shift my perspective on life, time, and consciousness itself. Dolores was a pioneer in past life regression, now known as quantum healing hypnosis techniques, a method she developed over decades of working with thousands of clients through deep hypnosis. She helped individuals access their subconscious, explore past lives, and retrieve knowledge from higher realm. Her finding compiled into 19 books, revealing intricate details about reincarnation, soul contracts, extraterrestrial civilization, lost ancient knowledge, and humanity's evolution. When I first discovered her work, I was completely captivated. I read 6 of her books in a row. It felt like a remembrance, like I wasn't learning something new, but instead reawakening to something I had always known on a soul level. Each book pulled me deeper and into understanding the nature of existence beyond the physical realm. Side note, if you have Kobo Plus, all of her books are available through the subscriptions. However, I noticed that not all of her books were easy for me to digest. Some, like the Convoluted Universe series, were much harder to read. I could only take a few pages at a time, with long pauses in between. At first, I didn't understand why, but I felt an inner resistance, as if my mind and energy field needed time to process it and integrate the information before I could continue. It wasn't until I came across the work of Lee Harris and the Z's that I finally understood what was happening. Lee Harris and the Z's, Energetic Transmission. I was introduced to Lee Harris around the same time as Dolores Cannon, and his work helped me make sense of why certain books resonate deeply while others felt like they needed to be absorbed in layers. Lee is an intuitive guide, energy teacher, and channeler who has been sharing messages from a collective of non-physical beings known as the Z's for over 2 decades. The Z's offer insights on navigating personal and collective shifts, helping us align with our soul's wisdom and higher purpose. His book, Conversation with the Z's, Book 1, also side note, if you have Kobo Plus, it's also part of the subscription, brought me a profound realization. It doesn't matter when you read a book or listen to a recording. Messages arrive exactly when you are meant to receive them. Let me repeat. Messages arrive exactly when you are meant to receive them. The Z explained that books, like any other medium, can transmit frequency. At first, I found this hard to grasp. How could a book, something so tangible, can carry an energetic transmission? But over time, I realized that everything exists, including books, painting, and music, is energy condensed into physical form. This means that we can connect with material objects on a vibrational level before we even read the words or see the image. This also explains why some of Dolores Cannon books felt so intense. My energy needed time to attune to the information they carried. Lee also offers courses and an online community. I've participated in some of his program and I'm a member of his portal, where he shares regular transmission and teachings. His work has helped me deepen my understanding of energy, frequency, and the way messages come into our lives at the perfect time. Emilio Ortez, expanding perspective through conversation. I first discovered Emilio Ortez through his podcast, Just Tap In, available on YouTube. When he interviewed Lee Harris, Emilio is a young but deeply insightful spiritual seeker and storyteller who explores consciousness, self-discovery, and personal transformation. His podcast features conversation with thought leaders, mystics, healers, and visionaries from around the world. Diverse perspective on spirituality and the human experience. What I love about Emilio's approach is that he brings a fresh, grounded perspective to deep spiritual topics. He asks profound yet accessible questions, making these conversations easy to connect with. Though through his work, I've been able to expand my own understanding by listening to different voices in the spiritual community. I don't watch all of his episodes, only the ones I feel intuitively drawn to. But that's the beauty of this journey. When we trust our inner guidance, we naturally gravitate towards the messages meant for us in that moment. Let me repeat that. When we trust our inner guidance, we naturally gravitate towards the messages meant for us in that moment. Activation with JJ, the language of light and soul remembrance. I first discovered JJ through Just Tap In, where she was a guest on Emilio's podcast. JJ is a multidimensional energy healer, intuitive guide, and channels who specialize in light language activation. Light language is a form of vibrational communication that transcends words, speaking directly to the soul. When I first heard her transmission, something deep within me stirred, like a forgotten part of myself was being reawakening. JJ shares activation and channeled message that helped people reconnect with their soul's blueprint, higher consciousness, and star lineage. While I primarily watch her podcast on YouTube, I haven't yet explored her work in depth beyond that. However, the activation I have received from her contain from her content have already resonated deeply, align with my journey at just the right moment. What's fascinating about JJ's work is that you don't need to understand light language for it to be effective. Your soul understands it beyond the mind's limitation. If you're open to receiving, her transmissions can unlock dormant energy, activate higher awareness, and offer healing ways you might not even realize until later. Synchronicity. Recently, I was trying to manifest a certain situation, but it wasn't happening. So I asked my guides for a message on how I could tap into my talent. The next day, I felt called to watch an episode of Just Tap In featuring Dr. Joe Dispenza. What stood out to me was the timing. This episode was recorded in February of 2022. Yet I am only now truly ready to receive and integrate its wisdom. Just as the Aziz says, when you are ready to receive, the messages and teachings will come to you. After watching the episode, I finally understood the profound effects of what I have been doing and the benefits of it. Dr. Joe Dispenza's work is remarkable because it takes ancient meditation teaching, wisdom that has been passed down for centuries, and quantify it using modern science through brain scans, heart coherence studies, and energy field measurements. He demonstrates how meditation rewires the brain, shifts energy, and leads to deep healing. His research validates that spiritual tradition His research validates that what spiritual traditions have long known, that we have the power to transform our lives from within. Let me say that again. His research validates what spiritual traditions have long known, that we have the power to transform our lives from within. I look forward to exploring his work further in the future. So as you can see, there is so much wisdom available to us, and I have barely scratched the surface. Every book, podcast, course, or retreat I have encountered has played a role in my awakening, shaping the person I am today. But at the end of the day, it's not about consuming all the information. It's about tuning into what resonates with you in this moment. True transformation doesn't come from external knowledge alone. It comes from how we integrate what we learn into our daily lives, how we embody the wisdom we received. If you're listening to this episode, trust that your guides have led you here for a reason. There is something in this message that your soul was ready to receive. Rather, it's a new perspective, a spark of remembrance, or a nudge to explore deeper. Know that you are being supported in ways beyond what you can see. When you open yourself to receive, the right books, teachings, and activation will flow into your life effortlessly. They will find you exactly when you are ready, not a moment too soon or too late. The synchronicities, the intuitive pulls, the moments of deep resonance, these are all signs that your soul is guiding you towards your next step. So take a deep breath in. Let it fill your heart with trust and openness. Exhale. Release any doubt or resistance. Allow yourself to remember who you truly are. Slowly but surely, with each step, each lesson, and each moment of surrender, you will begin to shift into the person you were always meant to be. You are already on the path. You are already awakening, and you are exactly where you need to be. Before we close, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever felt like a book or a message found you at the perfect time? Are there any teachers or resources that have helped you shift your mindset? Send me a message on Instagram or comment on YouTube. I'd love to connect with you and hear about your experience. Follow me on Instagram and YouTube at Aquasea Healing Frequency. Explore my online offerings on Thinkific. To anchor in today's message, let's close with a message for the collective and 3 ohms to bring in love, remembrance, and peace. Imagine all the possibilities. Open to life's abundance, open to all its possibility. The more open you become, the more creative you'll be in work, in play, in love, in life. The more creative you are, the more possibility you'll see. Place your left hand over your heart, your right hand over your left hand. As we send our collective healing vibrations to ourselves, to our loved ones, to Mother Earth, to the universe. Take a deep breath in and sigh it out. Inhale again. Palms together to your third eye. I thank you for tuning in and co-creating this space with me. The light in me honors the light in each and every one of you. May you always stay open to receiving all that is available to you. Namaste. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Aquasea Healing Frequency. I hope the healing energy of the sea and the frequency we explored today have resonated deeply within you. Remember, the journey to inner peace and alignment is ever evolving, and I'm here to support you along the way. If this episode resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Connect with me on Instagram and YouTube at Aquasea Healing Frequency. For more resources, head on over to my online course on Thinkific. Keep your heart open and let the waves of healing continue to flow. Until next time, may peace and healing embrace you always. Meiji.